Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, Episode 8, Many Heads, One Tail. Now, I really enjoyed this episode because we got some really great reveals. Like, they introduced the fact that, there's some secret organization or something that sent Will as a sacrifice to this other planet in the last episode. And then we also have the idea of Rosalind being a part of H.I.D.R.A because it's like, does she know that she's being tricked? Is she actually evil, or is she actually just being tricked and she has no idea? And we get an answer to both, and both answers just come out, it's H.I.D.R.A, bad. And that's pretty much the answer to everything. And I love kind of how they did that at the end, where they had the symbol throughout the centuries. I thought that was actually kind of awesome how they did that, and they just flip it upside down, and it's like, boom, it's actually been H.I.D.R.A this whole time, and they've just evolved. They basically evolved their emblem. Like, you know what? We need a new logo. And that's pretty much what they've done over time. And I thought that was actually really, really cool. So I love the fact that the answer came out to just be, it's H.I.D.R.A on both ends of the fence. They're the ones that sent Will to this other planet. They've been doing it for a long time. So that still brings up the question as to why. So it's kind of just like, something's going on there, why they're bringing, or why they're sending people to this planet, which we got the flashback. I think it was before, it was probably like in the second or third episode, where they show like the guy from like, that was like the 1800s, I think, or something like that, or like 1700s maybe, and they sent them in that room to get killed. So, we saw the flashback. It's been happening for a long time. We just still don't know 100% why they were doing it. And we also find out that there is another piece of the portal, which Ward had a crazy adventure. Just to say that, like, he had an insane adventure in this episode, which is pretty awesome. But, where it ends, we get a bit of information, and it turns out that there is still a piece of the portal. It was a tiny little block, so it makes me think, like, alright, based on what we saw from the monolith, it was kind of in, like, sort of a pseudo-oval type of shape, not counting the base, of course, which is completely flat, but it was in sort of a oval type of shape. And he had this complete square that was taken right off of it. So that could have been straight from the bottom. It was just like multiple pieces were, chopped off the bottom, and he just had like a piece. But that kind of opens up the possibility that the monolith that we've seen, and that's, kind of been destroyed, is probably only like half of multiple monoliths that are now on the planet, because it could have been just this giant structure that was broken down and like formed into multiple different pieces, because the piece he had would have been very obvious to see from the other monolith, which it did have like little holes in it, but what he had seemed like pretty big. It seemed significant enough. It wasn't going to be like just a tiny little hole that we've seen. So I don't know how it's going to play into them somehow getting to Will, which that might be the answer. It might not be. I really don't know 100%. It is a portal, so I don't know. I don't know how it would work. I mean, it's not exactly like just a normal portal where it opens and it closes. It's like, it seems like the portal is open to the point of how much, I guess, liquid there is, since it does technically change into liquid form. So if that's the case, then I don't know how much there could possibly be, or how much, how they'd be able to use it or expand it, unless they went back to where they destroyed the first monolith, and they basically pour this rock in there, and then it kind of reforms the entire thing. So maybe that's how it will work. It would also take a lot just to get to the point where they were able to even see this part of the monolith that still exists on Earth. So that might not happen for quite a while. They might not be saving him for a little while. They've got their answer as far as who did it, but I still feel like they might not get to actually saving him for quite some time, considering everything that's happened. But it was definitely awesome to see that that's out there. So it does kind of open up the possibility that there could be a whole other monolith at this point. So it might happen, might not happen, but we'll just have to wait and see. Ward's little adventure in general, like I said, was pretty awesome. It starts off, he's just destroying these guys, and then he has like the little blowtorch, and he doesn't kill, I think he kills all three of them, if I remember right, but it's like, congratulations, you didn't talk. So, he kills the guy who ends up talking to actually help his buddy, oddly enough. He kills that guy just for talking. And then he kills the other two, like, you know what, I just need to know which place I needed to go. Then he gets on the plane, destroys that thing, he blows the wall out, and just drops. And that was kind of awesome. I kind of love that scene. And it's like, he's just chatting up with the stewardess and everything. And it was just kind of funny to me. It was just like, all right, he's just going to do like this sort of playboy type of thing. And then he whispers in her ear. And I thought it was totally going to be, something else. But when he mentioned like, oh, I couldn't do this, I thought he was going to hijack the plane 100%. I thought he was just going to take the plane for himself. And then it's like, nope, I'm going to blow the door off this plane, so you should sit down and strap in. Because otherwise you'll get sucked out of this plane. And personally, him being Ward, I'm sure he didn't actually care that much. But he scared her enough because, I guess with it being this random person, you never know what they have up their sleeve, considering how crazy it was that he even said it. So I guess in some cases you would just kind of take a seat. But she sat down. He's like, hey everybody, this is about to happen. Strap yourselves in because some pressure might change and you'll feel a certain dip as the airplane dives, so your captain can save you guys from freezing to death since we're so high up in the air. And he just blows it off and he's just flying out. And when he saws into the thing, I don't know what the heck he was using. And he saw like that giant circle and he just, like, the scene just opens and he just drops down. I was like, what in the world did he just use to make this giant hole around himself? Because I don't believe he had anything on him when he actually dropped down. So it was almost like he had some sort of weird laser thing. And he just dropped straight down. It was kind of an awesome shot. Like, it's just this room. And it just drops down, like this giant chunk drops down, and then he's just standing on top of it as he falls. And of course the guy's right there, and it's like, I only made it here like 15 minutes before you did. So they're of course going to be officially working together. Ward finds out that they actually have Andrew, which really, really sucks. I did not expect that to happen. We all knew Lash was going to come back. I didn't think it was going to be like, alright, he was captured, everything seemingly was fine. And then very next episode, they're going to turn him into Lash. Or at least they're trying to by the end. And I'm sure it worked because Ward put mustard gas in the thing. So Lash is going to come out. And considering he's under Hydra control, we might not have Andrew for much longer. I don't think they're going to be able to save him because he's already still in metamorphosis. And if they're forcing Lash to keep coming out, it's just going to make it faster and faster, and then they're going to have to put him down permanently, and that would really suck. And I feel like that might actually happen. We might have seemingly lost him before, and then we might actually lose him by the end of this season if they can't actually get him from Hydra and really put him on ice like they planned on doing before Hydra secretly came in and was like, alright, people from Hydra that work with the ATCU, this is what's really going to happen now. So not sure how it's going to play out, but it was definitely awesome that they have him. It's also kind of scary because now, he's not exactly a controllable weapon, but you put an unstable weapon facing your enemy, it still helps you. So, it's still technically not that bad of a plan considering what they're trying to do. And then all the secret stuff inside the ATCU, the weird little room, which I like the scene because it was a great reveal. But it was so weird to me that they had, like, just buckets of dead people. It was like, alright, we hit them with we gave them a bunch of the fish oil pills. And then, we gave them so much that, they're doing it so much that people are actually turning. Because I kind of like how they explained it before. With it being in the ocean, it's kind of downgraded where if you have powers, having, like, the fish oil pills will actually unlock your abilities as an Inhuman. But if you're not an Inhuman, it's not going to kill you. And I thought that was kind of cool, but how they're doing it is like take as many pills as you can so it's in such a concentrated form that it is actually killing people that aren't Inhumans. And so they just, I'm assuming it's for research, I guess, but you would think you'd only need like one ash, stone body to do that research. And also I thought everyone just flat out turned to ash as well, but I guess that's really not the case because they do show it, I think in the beginning of this season, they do still have Coulson's hand, I believe, like in a glass case, and it's just like a fist. So in some cases, if you actually touch the person, they kind of disintegrate into ash. But in other cases, they just don't. And so they're just rock body parts, I guess. So that was kind of weird. And then that also led to a really awesome fight scene, though, because Bobby and Hunter fight against this guy with telekinesis. And I don't know if they're doing this permanently, but Bobby having those really cool, like, metal things, like, it seemed like they basically grafted into her skin, because of course they did it where they're see-through so you couldn't see them. And they wouldn't have to, like, keep CGing little things on, or even have them on there. So that was just awesome, because she had it and she could throw her batons and then they would, warp right back to her. I thought that was actually pretty sweet. And they even have specific magnetic ties to them, because at one point they crossed because they were in different positions. So there's specifically, the right hand has a tie to the right baton, and the left hand specifically has some sort of magnetic composition to the left baton. And I thought that was actually very cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, to be totally honest. I can't wait to see her do that way more often, because it was actually pretty cool that they introduced that. But that was a crazy reveal. Even Rosalind, we do get the official answer. She doesn't know, so that was good. But, she's been lied to. Her second in command, he's actually working under her, so that was cool. It helped Bobby Hunter escape. And now it's like she has to kind of play both sides of the fence. Like, she now knows, like, okay, her contact, and her contact is the one from H.I.D.R.A, because Coulson knew. It was like, alright, you didn't know this person, you didn't get it from them, so it had to be from H.I.D.R.A. So now she knows that the guy she was working with, or that she is working with, is from H.I.D.R.A. She's gonna have to kind of play it up a little, and they may or may not still have that initial meeting set, and they're going to have to kind of mess around with that and say, like, okay, well, if we have this meeting, let's figure out how to capture this guy and solve some issues here. But I'm looking forward to what they do, and I think this episode was just really good. It was a nice surprise to get. I guess it technically wasn't a surprise, because we knew it was H.I.D.R.A, but the big reveal is the fact that they were in it, like, way more than we thought. It wasn't just like, oh, they're going to actually put him in the facility, because I figured that even if Rosalind was a part of H.I.D.R.A, they'd still have him in the normal facility. I kind of just assumed that, to be totally honest. I thought that they were kind of with them in the last episode when they took him to the facility. And then, in this episode, they kind of mentioned the fact that they weren't. So that kind of surprised me, because I thought for sure it would have been like, all right, we'll go with you to make sure he gets here, and they didn't do that. So they all kind of got screwed over, and Rosalind's going to have to kind of play both sides of the fence and be really careful that she doesn't, reveal the fact that she knows he's a part of H.I.D.R.A, and that some secret things are going on, even inside, of the ATCU base. So I'm looking forward to what they do. Who knows what's going to happen with Will? Like, I just don't know, but whatever it is, looking forward to it. I believe there was another really good moment between Fitzsimmons and this episode. I'm trying to remember, because it was early this week, because I'm so far behind. But if there was a scene with either of them, if they were together, it was an amazing scene. So that I can just say that even without remembering, because everything they've done has just been, like, unbelievable this season. So if there was a scene, it was amazing. If not, then there'll be something amazing next time. I don't know. But I wish I could remember, but I can't. But I did really enjoy this episode. Hunter is like the fake hacking guy. That was really funny, especially when he was typing. That was the funniest thing. And it's like, this guy's like, it's this, / this, and this. And it's just like, and it was just so funny to me. And especially the joke he made, it was like, I was just making sure your sluggish software could keep up with me. That was really funny. That was a good cover. Like, I just love that, because that's what his character does, and it's just funny. So I really enjoyed that. The whole episode, like the action with Bobby, definitely really awesome. The reveal was pretty cool, and I just liked the way they did it on the table. That was pretty awesome. And then, the whole logo change thing was just funny, but I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to what they do in this next episode. I think we only have like 2 more, maybe 2, possibly 3 more episodes before the mid-season finale. And then we also have Agent Carter, because they revealed the trailer this week for Agent Carter, which it was probably online, but I hadn't heard that the trailer was coming out. I knew it was going to be back on Actually, I didn't know. I may not have known actually that it was even coming back on this season. But it's really cool that they are. So they're gonna be in LA this time. I'm looking forward to that. And it was kind of cool to see that, see the full official trailer during the commercial. It's like, oh, I didn't know they actually had the trailer out. So it's nice to see that. Looking forward to season 2 of Agent Carter, because Agent Carter is really freaking awesome. That was a great first season. Looking forward to whatever they're going to be doing in season 2. Should be fairly exciting. But great episode, of course. Want to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And now that we know that Hydra is the one behind everything, because it's just, if it's evil, it's Hydra or it's AIM. And AIM really hasn't come into play in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They were like the big thing. They weren't even the big thing in Iron Man 3. It was technically AIM, but it was like nothing, to be totally honest. So AIM has had like nothing really important to do with like the Marvel Cinematic Universe whatsoever so far. So at this point, it's like, if it's bad, it could be AIM, but it most likely is just Hydra. So I want to know what you guys kind of think of that big reveal about how old Hydra truly is, because based on what they showed in this, it's like way older than I thought. I mean, I guess I never really knew 100% that the Red Skull didn't technically make Hydra, but I guess it makes sense. It wasn't like he just he just made it. But I guess I kind of always just assumed that. Like, I never really read the comics or anything, so I just always assumed, like, yeah, it was the Red Skull, he made Hydra, and that was pretty much it. But this kind of says, like, it's way, way older than that, and it's just been growing for a very long time. So I want to know what you guys think about that little reveal, and I definitely want to know your speculations for what their plan is for this, other planet. Like, why did they do that? And, what exactly was the idea behind it? And not only that, and this is something I'm so glad I started talking about Hydra, because I just remembered them talking about this insanely powerful Inhuman that they sent away, and I can't remember who was talking about that. It may have been the guy talking to Ward, but that is the crazy evil thing that's on this other planet, is an Inhuman, and I don't even know what that means. That just made it even cooler though, because they made it seem like it was so old. They said that it happened when the Kree like first showed up, or when Inhumans like first started showing up, which was a long time ago. So that just made it really cool when I heard that. I'm so glad I remembered that happened. But I do want to know your speculations for why they're sending things to this planet, because it's still, at this point, it has nothing to do with the Kree. That's a thing. It's an Inhuman on this planet, but maybe Hydra knew about the Kree. Maybe that's why they were sending sacrifices to try to, I don't know, maybe see if they could pull people back and see, like, what's this thing that's on this planet or whatever. But I want to know your speculations for why they're doing that. If you guys have any speculations on what this crazy Inhuman is, if it's from the comics or just in general, if you have some speculations, please put those down below as well. And of course, thanks for watching.